Coming up, the Senate votes to end the debate on Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh when a final confirmation vote will take place. Plus, Sarasota Police Department expanding as 5 new members will be sworn in today. And it's National Manufacturers Day, how Manatee Technical College is marking the day. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today at noon, the battle over Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is nearing an end. Senators voting just a short while ago to end the debate and move forward to a vote. As ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports, the final vote on Kavanaugh's confirmation will take place this weekend.
We're on to the next step in the confirmation process for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, who could be confirmed as early as Saturday.
We have the opportunity to put Judge Brett Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court.
But it all depends on these 4 senators, 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat. GOP Senators Jeff Flake and Susan Collins both seemed satisfied Thursday with the FBI investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct by Kavanaugh more than 30 years ago. But today, Collins says while she'll vote yes on a procedural vote, she'll have more to say later.
I will announce my intentions on how to vote later today.
Another critical swing vote, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who says she is still undecided.
What do you think, Senator Manchin?
And then there's West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin, who's up for re-election in a red state, taking a look at the classified FBI report in the Senate secured room just this morning. Kavanaugh has strongly denied all allegations, and overnight he made one last effort to convince any undecided senators and the American public. In an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, he writes, "My hearing testimony was forceful and passionate. That is because I forcefully and passionately denied the allegation against me."
This is a circus.
But he admits I might have been too emotional at times. I know that my tone was sharp and I said a few things I should not have said. Senate Democrats are still worried about his temperament.
However, at the hearing last week, we saw a man filled with anger and aggression.
Even though Judge Kavanaugh passed the cloture vote today, the decision whether he will be confirmed is still uncertain. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, the Capitol.
A Polk County man is accused of threatening to shoot members of Congress that do not vote to confirm Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Deputies say James Patrick Jr. posted on his Facebook page that he had bought several hundred rounds of ammunition and he was ready to, quote, sacrifice his life for his country. Patrick also saying he would shoot any law enforcement member responding to his home. Thankfully, no one was hurt during his arrest. For the latest on developing stories like that and other breaking news, as well as your First Alert weather forecast, download our apps. Go to your app store and look for WWSB or My Suncoast. Let's get our forecast right now with meteorologist John Scalzi on a Friday afternoon, and a nice one at that. I didn't, earlier this morning, I didn't see a cloud in the sky.
No, it's pretty pristine. It was beautiful, actually. We did have a little bit more moisture in the air, though, and you may have noticed if you were watching the program this morning, our tower cam, as we were looking at the city lights, kind of showed maybe a little bit of haze that we didn't have around yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Then we also had a few showers around yesterday as well, few and far between, but they were more than we saw the day before yesterday. Today, the moisture that we saw this morning is going to be replaced by drier air this afternoon. So again, not much of a chance of seeing much in the way of rainfall later today. Yeah, a beautiful, pristine sky to start the day. It was really just a very nice sunrise and dawn breaking on the Suncoast. Now a few fair weather clouds building, but again, not a big chance for rainfall. Local temperatures responding to the daytime heating, getting us back up to about where we were yesterday. 85 degrees, 86 degrees, pretty common across the area. A little bit cooler as you move further inland, a little bit warmer right along the immediate coast. Of course, that's going to flip as we head into the afternoon, and the kind of moderating influence of Gulf water starts to keep temperatures close to the coast a little bit cooler. Tide and radar not showing a drop of rain around anywhere. Really, even rain showers close to the east coast are not developing at this hour. So that drier air really starting to pour in, and that's going to limit our rain chance to about 20% today. As we head into the evening, another beautiful evening, and the weekend weather looks great. Of course, all eyes on the tropics right now. We'll discuss that in detail in just a few minutes, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. An update now out of St. Petersburg, where police have found 28-year-old Sydney White and her 1-year-old son. Police say the two are safe. They were located at an area hotel. Investigators are working with the Department of Children and Families to figure out exactly what happened after the woman's car was found abandoned. The man charged with the 1999 Sarasota murder pleading not guilty. Luke Fleming is charged with killing Deborah Dalzell. His new attorney also asking for a jury trial. Sarasota County Sheriff's detectives using new DNA technology to link Fleming to the crime, leading to his arrest last month after nearly 20 years on the run. Happening today, the Sarasota Police Department is growing by 5. Those 5 men will be sworn into duty at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Chief Bernadette Tapina will also be donating law enforcement trust funds to local community organizations that teach crime prevention and drug abuse prevention. ABC 7 business commentator Jeff Stern joins us now with a check of the day on Wall Street so far, and with yesterday's red numbers dominating the boards. How will we look for the week, do you think?
That's right. You know, the whole week was strong, and yesterday, big time red, big time red. So far, the Dow is leading the way up 0.25%, but the S&P down around 0.5% for the week, while NASDAQ's really getting hurt, down around 2%. The big news, Samsung came out and it crushed earnings, actually, $15 billion for the quarter. A lot of that, believe it or not, has to do with Apple sales because they provide a lot of the products, or excuse me, the parts for Apple phones. 10-year Treasury 3.22. That's been roaring thanks to the Fed. You know, the interest rates have been going up, and I woke up this morning, little mixed bag. So let's see how we're currently trading. The Dow Jones is negative 154 points, 26,473, down over 0.5%. NASDAQ's down as well, 7,800, down almost 80 points, over 1%, while the S&P continues that trend, 2,888, down almost 13 points, just shy of 0.5%.
And Jeff, the September job numbers are in to end our third quarter, huh?
That is correct. They came in, and that's part of the reason why the market's down right now. I would say 134,000. They were expecting 184, believe it or not. The big question is, how much was Florence part of that factor? You know, we have seen revisions in August, so we'll see how this plays out. But right now, 134,000 was pretty low. Unemployment came in, surprisingly, 3.7. That's the lowest we've seen since 1969. We were expecting around 3.8, so that's good news. And the average hourly earnings, 2.8%, right in line with what we were expecting. So overall, it looked pretty good, and the Fed's probably going to continue to raise rates. I think that's why we're seeing some red numbers.
Okay.
Definitely.
Jeff, thanks so much for the update.
Thank you. Have a great weekend,
Scott.
You
too. Still to come in your Suncoast News, is the flu shot or nasal spray vaccine better for your kids? Doctors will break down the best options. And then 1 year ago today, the hashtag #MeToo movement was launched. We'll take a look at the changes and justice served throughout the last years.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase is coming to the Venice Community Center October 5th and 6th from 9 to 3. There will be free health screenings, door prizes, and products and services from 75 area businesses. You can also enter to win $100 in 5 drawings each day. Enjoy a great food court and see new boats and cars in an outdoor display. Parking and admission are free. The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase, sponsored in part by ABC 7.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
So we're looking at a temperature of 86 degrees outside right now, and 93% feels like temperature. So clearly we're on our way again today to about another 100-degree feels like temperature. Dew point value is at 73. Like to see it get back down to around 67 degrees. That would be kind of nice, like we had day before yesterday. And we may do that tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, but we certainly have some drier air moving in, and perhaps some of it will filter down closer to the surface. 86 is just about exactly where we were yesterday. Dew point values are, for all intents and purposes, about the same. Not much difference really, except wind speeds are up just a little bit, so we won't catch much of a sea breeze today. 20%, that's the best we'll do. Chance for showers. Aloft, the air is drier, and we're starting to see some of that drier air kind of limit the number of storms developing over on the other coast. We'll reduce the rain chance by 7 p.m. as the heating of the day goes away and that drier air continues to filter in to only about 10% of that. And during the overnight, should be a beautiful night tonight. Just a absolutely gorgeous starry sky. So a few scattered showers, light stuff, nothing heavy, no thunderstorms over on the other coast, gradually drifting in this direction, but really not a whole lot of potential here for showers and thunderstorms. Yesterday, we had some humid air indicated here by these red contours on our precipitable water map. This is the moisture available for rainfall in the atmosphere. And it really is not that impressive today over the state of Florida. In this graphic, redder is wetter. And the moist air that we had yesterday rapidly moving out into Gulf waters, being replaced by the cooler blue contours of dry air. And that'll be with us not only today, but tomorrow as well, and probably even on Sunday. It won't have much of a chance of rainfall with that dry air in place. There may be some periods of little bits of slugs of moist air, but nothing quite so much as we had yesterday. Yesterday was probably the best rainfall day of the entire week, and we didn't get a whole lot then. High pressure stays with us, directing our winds generally out of the east right through the weekend, but a series of little low pressure areas and fronts will eventually nudge that high out into the Atlantic by by Monday or Tuesday. When that happens, it starts to twist our winds around more to the south. And when we get that southerly twist in our winds starting next week, that will begin to change things dramatically for our weather. I'll show you why in a second. Mostly sunny, warm and dry, basically, today, with only an isolated shower. Shifting winds next week. We'll get through the weekend, I think, with that easterly wind flow, good for the red tide sufferers. And we're monitoring the tropics. The east wind shifting to the south and the tropics developing could have impact on the weather next week. You'll watch the Futurecast pick up a few showers during the late afternoon, sling them back toward the coast, and then we're left with a pretty quiet overnight into Saturday morning. So what's going on in the tropics? Well, we have this one area right down here that gives us concern. Computer models are kind of in agreement that there might be some development occurring here as it lifts northward up toward the Gulf waters. And in fact, the Hurricane Center has upped the chances now to 30% development over 2 days, but 60% over the 5-day period. And computer models are all kind of agreeing that it's going to move toward the Gulf waters. And leave the Atlantic side of our peninsula alone. As it moves northward, there is some agreement also in computer models that we could see some development, maybe into a tropical cyclone. If it becomes a tropical depression or a tropical storm, especially if it becomes a tropical storm, we'll have to watch it very carefully. Although I don't think this would be a big windstorm for the Florida, it could be a big wet storm for Florida. We're maybe seeing a little bit of development right here in terms of a low pressure area. But certainly as it lifts northward, it will spread its moisture across the peninsula and bring us good chances of rain. In this model, it does develop it into a tropical cyclone. In fact, it develops it into a tropical storm. If it did develop, it would be called Michael. So we'll be watching for that next week. In any event, I think the big thing would be a rain-producing storm. It'll cause our rain chances to go up next week. 10 knot winds today, becoming a little breezy in the afternoon, 10 to 15 tonight, about 15 steady. And the forecast calls for that 20% chance of storms today with a high of about 92, 91 or 2. Tomorrow, about 90, with not much chance of rainfall whatsoever. On Sunday, we'll up the rain chance a bit, and then starting next week, we're going to be watching the tropics very carefully and boosting our rain chances Wednesday into Thursday up to about 60 or 70%, or maybe even more. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Local businesses are hoping to inspire the next generation on this National Manufacturing Day, a day dedicated to all types of careers within the manufacturing industry. ABC 7's Marla Spence was at Manatee Technical College, where close to 200 students heard from local industry leaders.
It's National Manufacturing Day. Students here at Manatee Technical College got the inside scoop on what it means to work in the manufacturing industry from local companies between Sarasota and Manatee counties. Some pretty big companies made it their business today to spread their knowledge when it comes to the industry. Many including Feld Motorsports right out of Palmetto. They create all the neat rides for Monster Jam. Also, Be Swanky, a high-end handbags line right out of Sarasota, was also in the building imparting knowledge to students of MTC.
We're mentoring students right now, and I've been mentored by so many people over my career, and just recently the 3 years with Be Swanky. None of this would be happening without my advisors or mentors. So we always believe in paying it forward and being the difference. And that's our tagline, be the difference.
And being the difference is what today was all about. Ariel Bolero with Feld Motorsports and Monster Jam says he looks to recruit workers locally.
Currently we have over 5 students that are currently graduates of Technical High School, and they're employed in my department.
Manufacturing is one of the highest paying industries in Manatee County. So far, the county is home to over 300 manufacturers, which provide over 10,000 jobs locally. I'm Marla Spence reporting in Manatee County for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you so much. Time for lunch now, so let's get over to the kitchen and say hello to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Hi, Judy. A lot of good stuff I see over there today.
That's right. Well, Scott, I'm back in that theme again. I did pumpkin the other day and some last week. Now we're going to be working on apples. I always find this great sign of October. The humidity is getting down a teeny bit. We start seeing pink geraniums for sale at the landscapers, and we see an abundance of the fall apples. And I picked bags of McIntosh apples today over at Whole Foods, and you can buy their classic French crepes. The crepes are already made, so I'm going to teach you today many fun different things that will go very quickly, from sauteed apples with butter and port wine that will fill the crepe, to simple toppings when you're roasting squash, baked with the apples right in it, a perfect side dish, or even a dessert just with the seasonings of cinnamon and nutmeg. And Scott Dennis's favorite, I found a snickerdoodle mix that will make you warm and happy inside with a mug of hot apple cider. I'll be back in just a few minutes to bring all these delicious apples and ingredients together.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY. Honda, I like it.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Welcome back. Let's meet our pet of the week. John is with the founder of Dante's Den and host of Animal Outtakes, Marsha Panucci, to tell us more about Lou.
Lou! Lou is such a pretty kitty. I'm trying to get this blanket situated so you can see her. She's just gorgeous, jet black with little white markings.
Look at the white paws that we've got here.
Oh,
and a beautiful white chest, which he's hiding right about now, and the most gorgeous gold eyes. It doesn't get any better than that.
There you go. Oh, so
and he's a
adorable. How
baby.
old?
He's a baby, 6 months old.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a fun age for kitties. Oh, my gosh. That's when they're so full of playfulness and joy.
And
look at those eyes, too.
And he is.
Eyes, right?
He loves his toys. He loves, you know, the laser toys, and he loves the ones that you just kind of push around. And he's just a low-key baby.
I always enjoy those laser toys, you know, to play with the cats, but I'm never really sure if that's... You know, do they get any payoff ever? They never can catch the darn thing.
No, but we do because we're just shooting it around. You know?
We get a rest, so it's fun.
But he's a great companion. He's very playful, but on the other hand, he absolutely loves to be in your lap, and he'd be your Sunday football companion. And just absolutely very, very calm. And that's what I like about him. Yeah, he's just absolutely great. And
well, Marsha, you have done so much for the animals, I have to say, over the years. By the way, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And,
thank you so
You've
much.
done so much for these animals, and you have a very important function coming up this weekend.
I do, John, and I must say to our audience, this is one of our esteemed judges.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
You are going to have a hard time. We are a sellout with a waiting list.
Oh, tell people what it is.
It is called Top Dog. And the Top Dog will be at 11:30 at the Van Wezel. We will be outside, and thank you for ordering up some very beautiful weather. Yeah, thanks to you. And John is going to be very busy.
So it's one of your big fundraisers of the year, right?
Yeah, it is the fundraiser.
We want to invite everybody out so you can help participate, save these animals, and help Marsha with Dante's Den and all the good work that she does. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Lou, good luck to you, sweetheart.
And Lou is presented by Cat Depot.
There you go. Scott?
All right, thank you both. Flu season is here, and doctors recommend parents get their kids vaccinated. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, last year there were 180 pediatric deaths due to influenza, 80% of whom were unvaccinated. Parents also have to decide between the flu shot or nasal spray. So, which one is best?
While the mist would be an option, the shot is still the recommendation. So this year, when children are going of any age over the age of 6 months, when a child goes to get a flu vaccine, the pediatricians are really going to stress the importance of the flu shot.
The flu shot takes 2 to 4 weeks to become effective, so it's best to get vaccinated sooner rather than later. All right, back to the kitchen now to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Scott, I'm going to start out with squash. You know, when I was a child, my mom always cut the acorn squash into wedges, put some maple syrup on it, and roasted it in the oven. Well, nowadays, you're going to see this trend where we're actually slicing them. You want to have a good sturdy knife. I often use my Chinese meat cleaver, but a really heavy-duty, firm handle on your French knife should do it no problem. Just be very careful. I usually use a cutting glove, same type of steel mesh that if you were shucking oysters, just to be safe. So inside, basically, all I did was I took out the seeds and I brushed it with butter. And I have Macintosh apples in here, and I'm going to sprinkle this just with a little cinnamon. And then we're going to dot it with butter, and that's going to get roasted in the oven. And wait till you see how I top it. So this could be either a side dish, a somewhat sweeter, savory side dish, or we're going to go with the theme of squash and apples that come together with a little melted ice cream. I know it sounds crazy, but it's delicious. So that'll give you that warm and cozy. That's going to go in an oven, 375, 385 for about 20-25 minutes. That will be great. Now, let's get to the next thing. I know Scott Dennis loves snickerdoodles. And I found this box of cardamom snickerdoodles, and it's all natural, and it just needed an egg and some butter and water, and I thought, well, let's just try it. I'm a little nervous. Will I meet his expectation? I think I did. So it's so easy to make this, and that way you can just bake them, mix everything together, you roll them into balls, and it comes with a cinnamon and sugar packet. So all you do is roll them in that, and then you're going to bake them. They're going to come warm out of the oven, and then you can serve that with some warm apple cider. When we come back, let's saute up some apples with some port wine and get ready for a whole nother idea for French apple crepes.
32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gettle Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gettle dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gettle location near you or visit Gettle.com.
Gettle's got it.
We get it. You're busy. But what about those moments when life slows down? It only takes a minute to get election ready. Check your voter registration status. Make sure your signature is up to date. Review your sample ballot. Know your election dates and voting options. So take a moment. Be election ready.
I'm Secretary of State Ken Detzner. Get ready, get set, vote.
Thank you.
What are you doing? You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. It's gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase is coming to the Venice Community Center October 5th and 6th from 9 to 3. There will be free health screenings, door prizes, and products and services from 75 area businesses. You can also enter to win $100 in 5 drawings each day. Enjoy a great food court and see new boats and cars in an outdoor display. Parking and admission are free. The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase, sponsored in part by ABC7.
ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
We'll take a look at their extraordinary efforts to end sexual violence. Plus, a Manatee County Animal Shelter reducing adoption fees for a limited time, and the challenging road ahead for a Northport High School football player.
You're watching ABC7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story today at 12:30. Today marks 1 year since the explosive allegations against a powerful Hollywood producer and the beginning of the hashtag #MeToo movement. ABC's Linda Lopez looks at the movement's impact so far.
1 year ago began the explosive headlines.
Several allegations of sexual harassment against movie producer Harvey Weinstein.
The accusations against Harvey Weinstein in the New York Times by women including actress Ashley Judd, followed by multiple allegations against him in a New Yorker article, all allegations he denies, has caused not only a shift in the conversation, but in consequences. Other powerful men in Hollywood and media, like Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby, and Les Moonves, all brought down by allegations of sexual harassment or abuse, despite their denials of misconduct. Women taking to social media a year ago with the hashtag #MeToo to tell their own stories, the moment amplified by the voice of actress Rose McGowan on Twitter and Alyssa Milano.
I feel like I was the messenger, that I put it out there and let it be what it was going to be, and it grew into something that is still breathing a life of its own.
The #MeToo hashtag, created by Tarana Burke more than a decade ago, and speaking about it at this year's Golden Globes.
Absolutely. I think this year is going to be one that goes down in the history books as where we started to change our world.
One of the first public people to face online harassment, Monica Lewinsky, praised Burke today.
I think it's been extraordinary, and for younger generations, it will never be the same.
But many survivors and activists feel there is more to be done.
I think we have a long way to go. And I think that where we are politically right now makes it a little bit more difficult. But I have faith that we will get to where we need to be.
And this movement helped launch the Time's Up campaign, an organization and legal defense fund that helps women who are victims of sexual harassment and abuse in Hollywood and beyond. Linda Lopez, ABC News, New York.
This year's Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Dr. Denis Kavega and Nadia Murad for their efforts to end sexual violence as a weapon of war and armed conflict. Kavega and his staff have treated thousands of sexual violence survivors in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He has earned the nickname the man who mends women. Murad was abducted by ISIS in Iraq in 2014 and held as a sex slave. Now she's a UN Goodwill Ambassador, helping survivors of human trafficking. Time to get a check on our weather on a Friday afternoon here on the Suncoast with meteorologist John Scalzi, and everyone looking forward to the weekend.
Absolutely, and it looks like the weekend is going to cooperate nicely. Awesome. I mean, we may have a lot of rain perhaps next week, so I'm glad that we're squeezing in this weekend because it looks like it'll be just stellar. And if you have outside chores to do, like I do, it looks like certainly Saturday will be your best day for rain-free conditions, but even Sunday I don't think will be much of a problem.
Clean the gutters. Maybe I should put that on my list, huh?
When you're done with your house, Scott, come on over if you need some more practice. That's one of the jobs.
Oh, it's a fun one.
I really am afraid of that job. Anyway, we have a blue sky at Lakewood Ranch webcam to start off the morning. It was a gorgeous dawn as it broke on the Suncoast. Now, a few fair weather clouds kind of rolling in, moving from east to west across the peninsula. No rain producers yet, but there probably will be some. Local temperatures certainly on the warm side of average, coming in today near the 90-degree mark, already in the mid to upper 70s in most places. And although there's no precip falling here, not the case everywhere. I'll show this to you just to cool you off a little bit. We got some serious snow showers in progress in the Dakotas and parts of the western Great Lakes. They could get a couple of inches of snow there. No such luck for us, though. We will be enjoying temperatures running above average right straight through the weekend. 91 or 2 today with only a 20% chance of rain. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Venice police warning people about a scam artist. They say the man in this photo is going door to door soliciting donations on behalf of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 57. Venice police say he is in no way affiliated with their police department, and if you come in contact with him, to call police. 2 people are being accused of illegal dumping in Charlotte County. Deputies say Mark Rollins and Lydia Hertz were staying in a vacant lot in Port Charlotte. They're accused of storing and then abandoning more than 500 pounds of trash, furniture, and debris. Months ago, the 2 claimed to have permission to use the property, but the owner later denied their claims. The challenges remain for a Northport High School football player who suffered a serious neck injury. Wendy Renault broke 2 vertebrae in his neck during a game last week against Lakewood Ranch. The Northport High School junior collided with an opponent head-on as he was tackling him on a kickoff return. Renault was wheeled off the field and spent 4 nights in the hospital. Doctors say he will not need any surgery and he has feeling in all of his extremities. But despite that positive news, he's still in a lot of pain and has a very long road to recovery.
As soon as I hit him, I fell to the ground and I thought I could have got back up, just a simple hit. But I heard a pop in my left neck, so I stayed down and started screaming.
It's really hard for him in the middle of the night. I kind of sleep right by him, like on the floor, trying to sleep. Whenever he needs something, I gotta get up. I don't really sleep because I keep checking up on him.
Since Wendy is expected to be out of school for a while, the Renault family is pushing the district to help with getting him a computer so he can work at home and help with medical expenses. And the school district says they will work with the family to connect them with resources. Well, it appears the marketing campaigns by Drug Free Manatee are working. A new survey shows Manatee County students are more aware of a law that protects them while trying to save the life of an overdose victim than students in any other county across the state. Florida's 911 Good Samaritan Act protects anyone who calls 911 and the person overdosing from being prosecuted for drug possession. In the latest Florida Youth Substance Abuse Survey, more than half of Manatee County students knew that law existed. The NAACP Sarasota Chapter's Freedom Awards handed out last night at the Sarasota Hyatt Regency. The theme, One Nation Working Together for Justice and Equality Everywhere. A number of local residents recognized for their work they do all year long.
The community every day, but this is where we're able to recognize those behind the scenes individuals that make Sarasota the fabric of the community that it is.
This is the 33rd year for the event. Our congratulations to all the recipients. So looking for a new best friend? Manatee County Animal Services is offering reduced adoption fees on dogs and cats for October. The fee will be just $40 for dogs, $20 for cats. The shelter will also be celebrating National Pit Bull Awareness Day on Saturday, October 27th. And that week they'll be giving away free pet products to every family that adopts a new pet. All right, back to the kitchen now. I wish you all could smell the delicious apple. I mean, it smells so good. Here's Judy with more.
I figured I owed you this one. I cooked fish the other day. I need to get this aroma going with all these apples. So let me show you how simple this is. Homemade applesauce is so worth it. You peel Cortland and McIntosh apples, a little bit of water, maybe about a half a cup, and some cinnamon and sugar, or even better, cinnamon and something like a stevia. And you're just gonna cook it down and use a fork, or you're gonna use your whisk, and that will just make this warm, delicious, homemade applesauce. Now we're gonna get ready for the crepes. So I have about, it's probably 5 or 6 McIntosh apples. Right now they're really small, that's fine. I like them tart to where you bite into them and it almost hurts. So I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter that I added. And then remember the cinnamon and sugar that we rolled the cookies in? How can Scott forget? We'll put some of that leftover right in there. Whoop, grab that out of the way. Then we can deglaze with a little port wine. You can also do the Calvados liqueur if you would like. If you don't want to use any alcohol at all, by all means, if you just simmer down some apple cider, it will make almost like a glaze, and that will be perfect. So, to make the crepes, I've bought the pre-made crepes at Whole Foods. Fantastic, nice French style. I have a crepe maker at home, and there's no way I can compete. It is so easy to use it like this. Now, I have some Southern Praline ice cream. We're going to put that right in there. You could do pumpkin if they have pumpkin available. That usually sells out pretty fast, so we're going to use the delicious taste of this. And then as this finishes up, we'll just do just a little bit so you get the texture of the apple there. But what we're going to do is we're going to roll, and then we can put the warm apple compote right on top. This is just so good. And I have to tell you folks, when you have, like, start to think about Thanksgiving leftovers, this for lunch is wonderful if you cut down on the sugar, and then you can put some turkey and cranberry in there as well. And so you get this more savory bite, a brunch crepe we'll call it, okay? I just made that up and I think it'll work beautifully. So there we go. Let's take a break and let's come back and have our Apple Fest begin.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs right at home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call right at home. Get the right care right at home.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers.
Thank you.
Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Rugs as Art. You know the name. You know the building. But do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore. But there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
I feel happiest when I'm out enjoying my favorite things, like spending time in my garden. That's why I need a Humana Medicare Advantage plan.
Many Humana Medicare Advantage plans cover everything from emergency care and hospital stays to doctor office visits and prescription drug coverage. In fact, last year, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $6,900 on average on their prescription costs. Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals, plans that include vision and dental coverage, and most plans include Silver Sneakers Fitness and a rewards program, all for a $0 monthly plan premium in most areas.
Now I can be happy and healthy and keep enjoying all of my favorite things.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide and see how a Humana Medicare Advantage plan can help keep you enjoying your favorite things.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app. Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So, At the moment, we are just about in exactly the same position weather-wise as we were 24 hours ago. Dew point values at 73, air temperatures at 86. We have an east-southeast wind, a little bit breezier than it was 24 hours ago, and the heat index about the same as well. So the situation is kind of the same, except aloft we have slightly drier air, and that limits the number of showers that we get today to about 20%. Plus, a little bit stronger wind is really going to keep that sea breeze from forming whatsoever, so we really don't expect to see much in the way of rain today. As we head into the evening hours and daytime heating starts to go away, as the sun sets, so too will a rain chance, and we'll be left with pretty quiet overnight conditions. A few showers down there coming into Lee County, but otherwise our area pretty quiet. From Lee County southward is where the moisture is the deepest today, but we're going to see that dry air kind of spread across central and south central Florida right straight through the afternoon. Showed you those snow showers earlier on. There is some cold air around, no doubt about it. We've got fall full force in the northern tier, stretching back into the Intermountain region and then back into the extreme down East Maine. But for us, the division between that cold air and the warm, sticky air of the south is pretty obvious here. You know, we have a frontal boundary that's kind of stalled out, and that's really not going to go anywhere. But in the meantime, you can get some snow falling in some parts of the country. If you are interested in such things and traveling to the Intermountain West, you can probably find some maybe 7,000-foot snow elevations with some snow amounts of maybe 3-4 inches, and then also up in the northern tier. But of course the deep south remains hot under the influence of that stubborn high pressure ridge, which really doesn't seem to be going anywhere for the next 4 days or so. But then thereafter the high moves out into the Atlantic, and once that happens our winds start shifting more to the south, and that becomes increasingly interesting as we head into the next week. We will have a few scattered showers around perhaps later on today, but the total rainfall amount's not all that great. Mostly sunny, dry, warm, shifting winds next week. And of course, again, I can't stress this enough, we'll be monitoring the tropics. This is the rainfall amount for the next 24 hours. And as you can see, it really doesn't amount to a hill of beans, really. You'll probably be measuring rainfall totals in the hundredths of an inch and tenths of an inch at most in inland areas mostly. So there's the area of concern, the one we're watching carefully. The reason that I stress get updated forecasts as we head into the weekend is because with these kinds of systems at this time of year, as they move into Gulf waters and develop, you don't have days and days and days and days to watch and monitor the system before it makes landfall. The system can form and make landfall the next day, really, at this time of year, especially in Gulf waters. So we'll be watching it pretty carefully over the weekend to see if we notice any development down here. 60% chance of developing over the next 5 days. If it does develop, it will be called Michael. So we'll see how that plays out over the next several days. East wind coming in at about 10, getting breezy a little bit later on this afternoon into the evening hours, and overnight east at about 10. A moderate chop on your bay and inland waters with 2 to 3 foot seas. Today's tides, 9:46 was our high tide this morning. The next tide doesn't come till just about 5:45 tonight. That'll be a low tide, kind of right in between the two, on the way to another high tide just before midnight at 11:46. Forecast calls for a 20% chance of showers today, sunny skies tomorrow and warm near 90. And then as we head into next week, we'll be watching carefully increases in rain chances as tropical moisture spreads across the Gulf Coast. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Comic fans are taking over New York City for Comic-Con, 250,000 fans to be exact. This weekend, Comic-Con celebrates its 12th year. ABC's Elizabeth Hur takes us inside for a sneak peek.
New York Comic-Con. A spectacle everywhere you look.
Game of Thrones.
This is from Pokemon. Tokaku Azuma. With so many people dressed to impress.
I wanted to be an extra for the Lord of the Rings.
Even if that meant going with Plan B.
I was actually trying to dress up as Batman, but this is the only thing they had.
I'm Batman.
For die-hard fans,
I'm really a huge fan. Like, I'm a nerd. I don't look like it, but I'm a nerd.
It doesn't get better than this. Finding the latest comic books, movies, and games all under one roof.
Oh, absolutely. This is the best day of the whole year. It's like a big theme park for nerdy things.
This was my first time here.
Oh,
you can talk!
Yeah.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
And it was definitely quirky.
Uh-oh.
Your friends, fans, stopping by.
I got nothing like Mr. Stay Puft to break up a party.
But my takeaway That's what makes this event so special.
Everyone accepting each other.
Wearing all these different amazing costumes.
And being a part of a community that I think for the most part, they didn't feel they had before something like this extravaganza came through.
An extravaganza that can be overwhelming, but by all accounts,
it's so exciting.
So if you're up for giving this a go, take this man's advice.
Dress up. I think that's the #1 thing.
Duly noted, sir. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Pretty awesome. All right, still to come in your Suncoast News. We'll finish up in the kitchen with Chef Judy, and then it's the end of a road for Captain America, where you'll see him for the final time.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror. Get local news and information from the team you trust. Like ABC7 WWSB on Facebook to stay connected to the Suncoast.
Don't you just wish you had on like this fuzzy bathrobe
Oh, that's
now?
good.
Sit in a lounge
Wow.
chair and just kind of go into it. A warm apple crepe with both that applesauce and the sauteed apples with the butter, the cardamom, cinnamon, and sugar, and then that port wine. Just kind of makes it feel warm and cozy. And oh yes, because it's John Scalzi's Southern Butter Pecan
Ice cream. Love that.
I know it. So I had to do that, and I really like it with the really soft melting ice cream, even more than whipped cream.
I sure like it too, Judy. Let's be on our website, mysuncoast.com. Check it out. Click the dining link button. It'll take you right there with all the video instructions. Thank you, Judy. I feel like going out and building a snowman.
And Scott, I've got plenty more snickerdoodles for you.
I'll be over there soon. Thank you both. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 4, waitresses on the Suncoast are teaming up to bring awareness to the importance of eating local as red tide continues to hurt businesses. And paramedics in Sarasota area taking extra measures to help stop the opioid crisis in Florida. We hope to see you later on at 4. Well, we've got the inside scoop on a big musical drama opening this weekend, the latest award for a legendary actor, and a sneak peek at a new comedy. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Tell me something, boy. Aren't
you tired trying to fill that void?
A Star is Born has so much music, you might think it was recorded in studio and lip-synced for the film. Nope. Filmmakers say every performance was captured live, even at such festivals as Coachella and Stagecoach in California and Glastonbury in England. But those performances were not amplified, so the real crowds at those festivals couldn't record the songs and leak them online.
Boy, you never did that before, you know.
Alan Alda is getting his union's highest honor. SAG-AFTRA says the award-winning actor, writer, and director is the next recipient of the SAG Life Achievement Award for fostering the finest ideals of the acting profession. Alda will be honored at the 55th Screen Actors Guild Awards on January 27th.
You need to wait your turn.
Relax, it's not a holdup. Just sign this one, please.
How would I sign it?
I don't know. Slowly. Wait, don't your arms work?
They don't.
Here's your first look at Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston in The Upside, based on the hit French film The Intouchables. Hart's ex-con strikes up an unusual friendship with Cranston's paralyzed billionaire in the comedy, which co-stars Nicole Kidman and opens in January. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That looks good. Well, after 8 years of playing Captain America, Chris Evans is hanging up his shield. Evans tweeting, "Playing this role over the last 8 years has been an honor." Evans was first cast as Captain America in 2010 for Captain America: The First Avenger. The now 37-year-old's final performance in the role will be in Avengers 4, which will open in theaters in May. They kind of wrap up all that Thanos stuff. You haven't seen it.
No, I haven't.
You haven't either.
The Star is Born. That's all I can talk about.
But I understand there are a lot of people very disappointed that he's leaving that role.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But, you know.
Time goes on. I mean,
you know.
Are you going to be okay with it, Scott?
He's 37, which isn't old, but
yes,
that's an action character. So.
Yeah.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase is coming to the Venice Community Center October 5th and 6th from 9 to 3. There will be free health screenings, door prizes, and products and services from 75 area businesses. You can also enter to win $100 in 5 drawings each day. Enjoy a great food court and see new boats and cars in an outdoor display. Parking and admission are free. The Venice Area Chamber of Commerce Business Showcase, sponsored in part by ABC7.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.